Here's Dan Debicella.
Thank you all for coming out today. I'm Dan Debicella. I'm the state senator from the eastern part of Fairfield County. And I'm running for Congress because Washington is leading us in the wrong direction. If you think about the values that made this country great, small government, free enterprise, individual liberty, we're losing those. And we're losing those because in 2008, people said they voted for change. But this was not the change they voted for. This was not what people wanted when in 2008 they sent Jim Himes to Congress. What they've gotten is a rubber stamp for a government that seeks to get into every area of your life. The auto industry is in trouble, government should take it over. Banks are in trouble, government should take it over. Healthcare has problems, government should take it over. It is the wrong direction for our country. And it threatens the American dream. Now, I don't know about all of you, but when I look at my family history and my hope for future generations, it comes down to the belief that in America, through hard work, every generation can be better than the one before. That is threatened by this massive expansion of government and crushing debt that Jim Himes has voted for. Let me tell you a little bit about why it's so personal to me, because my family's been lucky enough to live the American dream. My great-grandparents came here through Ellis Island from Italy and Ireland, probably like many of your forefathers. And each generation has built on the past. My dad was a cop in Bridgeport, where I grew up. My mom's a secretary, and I was the first person to go to college full-time. I've been lucky because in America, my family was able to make each generation better than the last. And I'm a businessman. I have tried to live the American dream myself. I've run a small business and worked for some larger businesses like McKinsey, which is a consulting firm, and Pepsi, so I hope you're all Pepsi drinkers. And getting into politics for me was about making a difference. And it started on the local level, where I was the chairman of my board of finance in Shelton, where we were able to reduce the taxes by 8% during my term. Think about that for a second, and think about what's happening with your own property taxes. You need a commitment to say we're going to control spending and actually lower taxes for folks. And as I saw the mess that was going on up in Hartford in 2006, I decided to run for the state senate, and won twice in very democratic years in a swing district. And while I've been up in Hartford, I have made it my business to be the voice of fiscal conservatism, to actually write a budget with some of my fellow legislators that reduced the size of state government by 5%. Not lowering the rate of increase or any of those tricks that politicians play, but actually shrinking the size of government. How did we do it? Through things like privatizing social services that could be better done by the private sector, by eliminating entire departments and merging them into others, by actually saying we have to have the government that we need to have, but the nice-to-haves we can do without. I'm proud of that record and want to bring it to Washington. If you look at what we could be doing in Washington so much differently today, take the economy, for instance, where Jim Himes voted for an $800 billion stimulus package. What did we get out of it? 90 jobs on the Merritt Parkway for 2 months for paving. For that, each and every one of you in this room have $10,000 more debt in the federal debt that your family's going to have to pay back. There's a better way. We still haven't spent $500 billion of that stimulus package. We should repeal it and cut the payroll tax in half for the next year. What that would mean is $1,500 in every middle-class family's pocket. More importantly, it would actually mean that small businesses would get money to actually go out and hire people. And best of all, it will lower the federal deficit and cost less than the stimulus package. Now, we're going to be talking more about the economy and healthcare and other issues today. But the message that I want to get across to you is why I believe I'm the best candidate, is because I've been fighting for middle-class families in my short political career, and believe that we need to send someone back to Washington who understands middle-class families because they've lived it, and has proven success in fighting for the fiscal conservative principles that we need to return to in Washington to get our country on the right track. Thank you. Well, first off, thank you all for taking the last 2 hours to come here and to listen to us talk. Elections, at the end of the day, are about more than just Republicans and Democrats. And that's something that politicians forget. They think it's about them. It's not. They're about you. They're about you and your family and what is going to be best for you in the course of the next 2 years. They're about who we as Americans are and what direction we want our country to take. That's why this election is not going to be about Jim Himes or Dan Debicella or anybody who's sitting up here. It's about what we want our country to be. And there are two very, very clear visions out there. Jim Himes' vision of more government as the solution to all our problems, or my vision that actually says we can do better through free market solutions on the economy, on health care, on all the issues that we've talked about today. And I believe that we need a candidate to run against Jim Himes, who cannot just reach out to Republicans. Because guess what? No matter which of us is the nominee, everybody in this room, I guess, is going to be voting Republican. We actually need a candidate who has a proven track record of reaching out to independents and conservative Democrats who agree with us and who will agree with our message and will turn out in November to actually vote out Jim Himes and vote in somebody who's not going to be thinking about themselves, but thinking about your families. My hope is that this forum has given you an opportunity to get to know all of us a little bit, but to understand the specific positions that I want to outline, the understanding that I have of middle-class families out there, and why I'm positioned to be the best candidate to beat Jim Himes in November. Thank you all.